Good design is about being able to express complexity when it's called for, but not to overwhelm when it isn't. And one of the nice things about designing things for a phone is that there is a natural limit to how much complexity you can expose at any one time, because the screen is small and you just can't have that much stuff on it. And so what you end up doing is you start to expose complexity sequentially. And that provides a very natural constraint for progressive reveal of sophistication. And so that's the principle that we've used to design Universe. It's the principle we've used to sort of make Universe a lot more powerful now than it was when we launched, but it's not more complicated or harder to use now than it was when we launched it. We think about this a lot. Like, this is where I think you need to be a really, really good interface designer. I think Apple have done a pretty good job on this. Like, the iPhone as a platform, it's 13 years old and it's still pretty easy to use, but it's also much more powerful than it was. And I think one example of that is, like, in iOS 14, Apple finally allowed people to customize their home screens with widgets. You know, we're seeing a lot of people do this, but the default experience, like for my grandmother, is she's never going to have to know that widgets exist. They just happen, and they don't get in the way of her experience using her phone. And so I think that's a pretty strong example of how you sort of manage complexity when it's called for, but not sort of overload, the upfront user.